today? Great! I'm glad to hear that you are all okay. Welcome to another exciting episode of Science 6. By the way, I am Teacher Carla, your science teacher for this day. Are you all ready? Great! Let's start!
Read each sentence carefully and scramble the letters to know what is being described. Write the answers in your notebook. Number 1. It is the place where people, animals, and plants live. The answer is Earth, correct. Number 2. An imaginary line which runs through the center of the Earth between the North and South poles. The word is axis. 3. It is the turning of the Earth on its axis. The correct word is rotation, correct. Number 4. The Earth's axis is the answer is tilted. And for the last number, the Earth rotates on its axis. What do you mean by the underlined word? The correct answer is spins. Now let us have another activity. Read each sentence. Write true if the statement is correct and false if it is incorrect. Write your answers in your notebook. 1. The whole part of the Earth faces the Sun at the same time. True or false? 2. When the sun shines on the part of the Earth, that part is experiencing nighttime. 3. Different parts of the Earth experience day and night because the Earth is rotating on its axis. 4. The parts of the Earth that is away from the sun is experiencing daytime. 5. The Earth rotates in a counterclockwise direction. 6. The Earth's axis is not straight but tilted at an angle. 7. The movement of the Earth on its orbit explains why the other heavenly bodies seem to move across the sky during the night. 8. The Earth rotates on its orbit. 9. Daytime occurs when the Earth is facing away from the sun. And 10. Nighttime occurs when the Earth is facing away from the sun.
Well done, kids! Now let us start with our new lesson.
Study the following pictures. At what time of the day does each picture shows? For the first one, there is a boy flying a kite. The next one, yes, a boy riding a bicycle. And for the third one, family playing together at the park. Next, we have father and son having a shadow play. A couple having a night camp. And last, mother and son stargazing. So we can notice that the first three pictures are daytime activities, and the next three pictures are nighttime activities.
Daytime happens when there is daylight. It happens between sunrise and sunset, while nighttime happens when there is darkness. Having daytime and nighttime help us live better on Earth. We can work and play during daytime and sleep and rest during nighttime. Imagine what would happen on Earth if we have no day and no night. What would be the world be like? Why is there day and night? Let us answer that question by doing this activity. Activity number 1. For this activity, we will be needing a globe or a ball, a flashlight, and a marker. Get a globe or ball and a big flashlight. Place the globe or ball on the table and mark off the Philippines with a marker. So the Philippines is located here. Now, hold the flashlight at 1 meter distance from the globe. Darken the room and turn the flashlight on. Ask a friend or a family member to turn the globe slowly. Observe as part of the globe or ball goes into the light and the other part moves out.
Let us answer these questions. Number 1. Did the whole globe or ball receive light from the flashlight? No, just a part of the globe received the light from the flashlight. 2. When the other part receives light, what happens to the other part? Correct. The part that does not receive the light became dark. If the Philippines is facing the light source, what countries are on the side opposite the light source? Right, some of the countries on the opposite side are America and Canada. What else? List some of these countries on your notebook. Very good, kids! Every day, the sun appears to rise in the east, travel across the sky, and set in the west. You can observe this day in and day out. But the sun does not move from east to west. Instead, the earth is spinning on its axis at a regular and steady rate once every 24 hours. The movement of the earth on its axis is called rotation. The direction of its rotation is from west to east or counterclockwise. What do you think is the effect of the Earth's rotation? Effects of Earth's rotation. The Sun is the closest star to Earth. The Sun seems to rise in the east and sets in the west. The apparent movement of the Sun is due to the direction of the Earth's rotation. The rotation of the Earth causes day and night. Look at the illustration. Notice that the Earth tilts on its axis at an angle of 23.5 degrees. This axis is an imaginary line that runs through Earth. At the two opposite ends of the axis are the North Pole and South Pole. The tilt of the Earth's axis makes day and night unequal. From our activity earlier, the globe represents the Earth and it spins or rotates on its axis. Earth's axis is not perpendicular to the plane of its orbit. It takes about 24 hours or 1 day for Earth to make a complete rotation. There are about 12 hours of daytime and 12 hours of nighttime, which make one whole day. What do you think will happen if the Earth stops rotating? The impossible scenario might be 6 months in sunlight and 6 months in the night. The winds would alter and the circulation would be in between the poles rather than the currently existing east to west. Adding to this effect, if the Earth stops rotating altogether, the temperatures on Earth would also alter and the equatorial regions would be much hotter, and the regions near the poles would be much colder due to slant rays of the sun they are exposed to. Did you know? The Earth spins on its axis once every 24-hour day. At the Earth's equator, the speed of Earth's spin is about 1,000 miles per hour. That is equivalent to 1,600 kilometers per hour. Yet, we don't feel the Earth spinning. Why not? It's because you and everything else, including Earth's oceans and atmosphere, are spinning along with the Earth at the same constant speed. So in this case, if 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes and 1 minute is equivalent to 60 seconds, how many minutes are there in a day? How many seconds are there in 1 day? Let's find out. If 1 day is equivalent to 24 hours and 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes, then 24 hours times 60 minutes is equal to 1,440 minutes in a day. If 1 day is equivalent to 1,440 minutes and 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds, then 1,440 minutes times 60 seconds is equal to 86,400 seconds in a day. So that means the Earth rotates on its axis every 24 hours, which is also equivalent to 1,440 minutes and also equals to 86,400 seconds in 1 day. For the next activity, study each picture of the rotating Earth. Pretend that you are in the location marked with a star. Tell what time of the day it is. Choose from the list inside the box. Place a check mark inside the box if the activity shown in the picture is appropriate for the time of the day, and X mark if not. For number 1, the answer is sunrise. Is the picture appropriate? No. Number 2, the correct answer is noon. X. 3, the answer is sunset. X. And for number 4, midnight. X. The activity we have done shows that there is a time for everything. We must see to it that time and actions fit. There is a time to play, a time to study, a time to pray, and an appropriate time for everything we do. Let me share to you a poem about how time and actions fit. There's a time to run and a time to walk. There's a time for silence and a time for talk. There's a time for work and a time for play. There's a time for sleep at the close of the day. There's a time for everything we do, for children and grown-ups too. A time to stand up and a time to sit. But see that time and actions fit. Did you like the poem, kids? Great! Always remember that good things takes time. To sum up our lesson for today, fill in the blanks with the correct answer. Choose from the list below. Write your answers in your notebook. The Earth's movement through space affects life on Earth. We experience, because of this movement on Earth, known as, it takes the Earth to rotate one time, in which we experience. The Earth's axis is an imaginary that runs through the Earth. At the opposite ends of the axis are D and D. Okay, let us find out if your answers are correct. The Earth's movement through space affects life on Earth. We experience day and night because of this movement on the Earth's axis, known as rotation. It takes the Earth 24 hours to rotate one time, in which we experience day and night. The Earth's axis is an imaginary that runs through the Earth. At the opposite ends of the axis are the North and the South poles. Great job! Quiz time! Let me see if you really understand our lesson. 1. Which of the following would happen if the Earth did not rotate? A. We would not have days and nights. B. The sun would not shine on Earth. C. The Earth would fall in space. Or D. We would not have any New Year. The correct answer is letter A. We would not have days and nights. 2. Why do we have day and night? A. Because the Earth revolves around the sun. B. Because the Earth rotates on its axis. C. Because the Earth tilts on its axis. Or D. Options A and C. The answer is B. Because the Earth rotates on its axis. 3. As the globe rotates, only half of it receives light, so this side is bright. Places on this area experiences what time of the day? A. Daytime. B. Nighttime. C. Dawn. Or D. Midnight. The answer is A. Daytime. 4. In what direction does the Earth rotate? A. Clockwise. B. Counterclockwise. C. Sideward. Or D. Backward. The correct answer is letter B. Counterclockwise. And for number 5, the Earth's blank is an imaginary line that goes from the North Pole to the South Pole. A. Axis, B. Longitude, C. Orbit, or D. Equator. The correct answer is letter A, axis. Did you get all the answers correct? If you got 4 or 5, then very good. If you score 3 and below, well, don't worry. You'll just need to practice more and don't forget to review our lesson. Let us try another one. Heads and tails. Rearrange these half sentences so that they make sense. Write a complete sentence in your notebook. Number 1 is already given. Let us check if you got all the correct answers. For number 1, day happens when the part of the Earth you are on is pointing towards the sun. Number 2, night is when your half of the Earth is turned away from the sun. 3, it is night when you are in the shadow of the Earth. 4, the Earth spins on its axis once every 24 hours. 5, 24 hours is 1 day. 6, we get heat and light from the sun. 7, at night, the Earth cools down because it is no longer being heated by the sun. And number 8, we get day and night because the Earth spins on its axis. Job well done! And for your assignment, based on what you have learned, make your own model of Earth with its axis showing its rotation. Submit your output to your teacher. For your journal, complete the following sentences. Today, I learned that I will
That's all for today, children. I hope that you gained a lot from our lesson today. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye!